What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and some general estimates that you need to be aware of for their earnings. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, companies unveiling the earnings. We have a lot of big names out there to this upcoming week. Palantir, him and hers, Uber, AMD, so forth. So a lot of them can really move the broader market. Aside from that, though, it is going to be yours truly. So Opendoor's earnings after hours Thursday. That's going to be a very big deal. And I think luckily enough, because of the whole CEO kind of transition that did happen, the market is going to be very forgiving for a lot of the key metrics. So right now, -7 cents for the earnings per share, 882 mil for the revenue. Over the last 90 days, 1 positive and 5 negative revisions to the earnings per share. A little bit more of a deeper dive though. -7 cents for the earnings per share works out to be 35.25% year-over-year growth. -9 for the low, -4 for the high, and then that is based on 7 analysts. For the revenue, that 882 does work out to be -35% year-over-year growth, 831 the low, 1.1 billion the high. So ultimately, it's going to come down to the future guidance. And Kaz, to me, he seems very innovative and at the same time very hype. Market will very much appreciate that. One very similar CEO that kind of encumbers both of those qualities is Vlad from Robinhood. And conveniently, there actually seems like there is something going on between the two companies. So I think in general, the market is really going to like Opendoor's earnings. Not the key metrics, of course, but just the innovative kind of progression that the company will be going through. And so, of course, everyone's going to be paying attention to kind of the turnaround. If there is any potential forecast for profitability, those are some of the things that people are going to be paying attention to. But I think generally, at the same time, this week, we could be starting to see some more optimism again for rate cuts. So we do have this upcoming week a lot of big data. Even on Friday, Michigan consumer sentiment, so a very big inflationary data point. But we do have a lot of labor. So on Thursday, we have challenger job cuts. And then on the Wednesday, we have ADP employment. I'm not really sure why those are kind of on the table because a lot of labor data has been kind of paused because of the whole shutdown. But those two are on the table. So potentially that could really change the mentality for this upcoming week. For rate cuts, you are also seeing today, so Sunday, Bessent very much kind of reiterating that we need to cut rates. And that's if, from what he's saying, if inflation does go down. So at the end of the day, the market might start to kind of assume a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming December meeting. But from now until then, it'll feel like light years. You're going to have a lot of up and downs and kind of the market assuming at one time that we're going to get a cut and then not. But generally, that is going to be a pretty good catalyst for Opendoor. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. The only other data point that could really impact Opendoor this week is MBA mortgage applications. Previous did come in at 7.1, seems to be kind of all over the place, but I think in general, this is going to be a key one to really push, hopefully, ideally, Opendoor higher. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of volatility anticipated currently from the estimates associated to options. The implied move is 14.18% in either direction. So that works out to be $1.10. So anticipate, like I said, a lot of volatility. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 850 to 9 by the end of this upcoming Friday. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of between 7 to 750. So the fact that we are there, there's definitely a lot more upside anticipated. Also going into this upcoming week, 22.2% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 157.5 million shares overall being shorted. So I know a lot of people are also assuming that a squeeze, an Opendoor squeeze, is going to happen after they unveil their earnings. And you never know, something could happen because Kaz seems to be all over the place. He clearly does have a lot of things in his back pocket that he's going to be really unveiling. Whether he unveils it at this earnings or if he kind of waits for a later time, that's yet to be seen. but you never know. If he announces a big partnership or some new products coming down the pipeline, market is going to really like that, push Opendoor higher, potentially causing a nice little squeeze, similar to what happened back in August when the short interest went from roughly around 32% short interest to 23. Wasn't a mother of all short squeeze, but it gave the foundation for Opendoor to kind of move higher. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from all of that, we have started to see a little bit higher for volume. So institutions are paying a little bit more attention to Opendoor. And right now, with it closing at, on Friday, 777. So I don't know if that's like a epic signal in among itself, just 777. But it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 753 followed by 671 will be key support levels. And honestly, this S1 could be touched. That is including this right over here. So the expected move, $1.10 in either direction. So potentially you could see that 671 being touched. Aside from that, 835 and then 886. So it is anticipated between this R2 and this S1. So you could make some pretty good money if you are good with options. So usually volatility and options go hand in hand, and that's how you can make some pretty good money. But aside from that, going on to the actual chart, Friday's nice push higher did get it out of kind of danger for the most part. So it did bounce off of that 50-day moving average. And so going into this upcoming week, we might have a nice V-shaped recovery. I think it's all going to come down to companies putting out their earnings, such as Palantir and so forth, a lot of the big speculative stocks that I think Wall Street has been largely waiting for them to fail. So Palantir, him and hers, they kind of do have a relatively high multiple. So Wall Street's been waiting for, I think, a long time just for them to show a lot of signs of weakness. Then Wall Street will shout, hey, look, they're overdone, overvalued, they're going to go down. So just anticipate a lot of volatility, but normally we would, in theory, based on the technical, see a nice V-shaped recovery. So that would be a good transition going into their upcoming earnings. Over the weekend, we haven't really seen that much associated to any articles, nor have we seen any analyst ratings. So that also in among itself could be a pretty good catalyst. So after Opendoor's earnings, we could see some bullish ratings coming down the pipeline. Because lately, even though you did see JP Morgan give a buy, no price target, but they did give a buy rating on September the 10th, it's still, most of the ratings are bearish. So even the highest one out there is $4. That was done by OpenAI, $2.50 to $4. That's when it was on, or I guess August the 20th. So at the end of the day, analysts, if they come in, let's say 6 or even double digit, then the market's going to take that as a massive green signal to buy the hell out of Opendoor. So let me know your viewpoint on it. Are you buying? Are you selling? What other kind of attributing factors do you think Wall Street is going to pay attention to as far as their earnings? So let me know your thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.